What is up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. I'm Skratch. This is another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I saw your comments, guys. The other day, we actually made a video on this bad boy, Biggs, right? The rare champion. And he's actually a pretty solid one, if you guys remember it. Now, at the same time, a lot of you guys commented and asked me, Skratch, have you tried Percival? How does he compare with Biggs? Which one of them should I level up? So, in today's video, guys, we're gonna have a look at Percival. He is a new rare champion that was added in Season 2, and of course, he is another burn enabler. The only difference with this champion, he's mainly to be used against single target. The reason why I'm saying it is because the passive will just deal extra damage if the target is under burn. He does have a attack aura, but only for the City of Trials. Then he has the battle skill, which strikes the enemy 3 times, each dealing fire damage with a chance of putting burn. So this is the only skill in his kit that actually puts burn on an enemy. And then of course you have the ultimate skill, which will grant attack up to all burn allies. That's what makes him pretty interesting, actually, is because you're going to be able to bring in more increased attack to your team, and overall this should compensate and should add a lot of damage on top of whatever you had already, you know. So that's what makes the character interesting. Now, you're going to want to build this completely different from Biggs, okay? Biggs, he needs to have a lot of attack speed, preferably some skill haste too, of course, because the other skills land burn too. But Percival, he needs as much skill haste as you can carry, basically. The more often he's using the battle skill, the more burn you're going to have on the target. And the real place where you want to have this skill is to be somewhere at 7 seconds, okay? Maybe even less than 7 seconds. If you can make this skill go on a 3-to-1 ratio with a champion that will use the ultimate skill to detonate the burns, that will allow you to put 9 stacks. Now, that is pretty hard, okay? That is pretty hard to sort out, so you're gonna have to be happy with 2-to-1 ratio, so place 6 stacks from this skill. But of course, if you are using Arasis, for example, Arasis will have a chance to put burn with his basic skill as well. So what I would suggest you to do is to give Arasis some accuracy. At least that's what I will be doing on my own account. Currently, I'm still on a test server, guys, but we are having a bit of fun. We're testing all sorts of different champions. And yes, I did promise that we will try the Thunderbolt Epic Heroes. I actually have them leveled up, and we're going to take them in for a spin as well. Not in today's video, but keep an eye for this as well, because we will definitely check them out. So we have Percival built on 2 skill haste sets, okay? Total stats on him: 31k HP, 1.7k defense, 2.5k attack, 63 crit, 118 crit damage, 220 accuracy, 65 skill haste. Now the accuracy, for whatever reason, is a bit of a overkill. I could potentially change this to an attack one, maybe, or something that will overall give him better stats, like this one right here. We drop 64 accuracy, but with the 3-man elemental affinity, we gain 50 more, so that will put us at 210 more or less. So that should be enough for the moment. I gave him Crown of the Unclean just so he gains more accuracy from here, basically, guys. It's not something that will benefit him a lot. He's not the best champion to land defense down on a target, but you know what, he's gonna have to do. So let's actually do a quick test, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna try. Honestly, there's no point to go in dungeons and just take the damage dealers in there, because it's gonna be pretty much the same thing. If we're gonna go on the drilling ground, we're gonna have a better understanding, because each one of these champions will do something different, okay? So for example, if we are bringing a 3-man elemental affinity, that should be more than enough. And let's start with Percival, right? And we have Arasis, we have Dane, which honestly pretty irrelevant that we have Dane in there. He's just more to give me the elemental affinity. What we want to see is how many stacks of burn can we put up with him. So whenever we're going to have more than 3 at a time, except being 6 or 9, is that Arasis will actually play some with his battle skill, you know? So we had a stack of 5 right there, a stack of 3, 4, 5. So right now he should be landing 3 more. 7. Okay, so we got all the way up to 7 this time around, and that's of course with Arasis' help. 8, and bang, we explode 8. So he's still doing a great job, but of course I need Arasis to help him here. I need Arasis to assist him. That's something that I decided to change. Even if I'm running him with Bigs, I'm still going to keep my Orestes like this. 8 stacks when we exploded, nice. So Percival will only be able to put 6 every 20 seconds, more or less, okay? So not precisely 20 seconds, but every cycle of their abilities, basically, you know? And that should be still pretty good. 6 plus whatever Orestes can put up as well, you know? That should give us a pretty good detonation. 5 right there, which I'm pretty sure they will be going high up quite a bit. Okay, and there we go. We went all the way up to 9, which was ready to make boom by the time expired. So overall, pretty good. Keep in mind we had defense down this time around, and Percival barely dealt any damage. He's not built to deal damage. He's more of an enabler, right, for Orestes. But Orestes managed to drop 542k, which overall is pretty good. Of course, the stacks will influence how much damage Orestes drops. Now, the good part is that Percival gives us the increased attack. And if you have a gear set that will increase the attack on your character, I can't remember the new set, the legendary one, 3 pieces, that will give you 15% increased attack, I think. That will stack with this, you know. Now, when you're bringing in a different character with increased attack, they will not stack, you know. You will have to kind of like time the champions to use the skills at different moments. That can mess you up with the defense down and stuff if you're counting on them to deal damage. But you're going to be able to keep the increased attack on your team for the entire duration, you know. You're going to have it for all 20 seconds. One uses it at these 10 seconds, one for the next 10 seconds. Rinse and repeat, you know. If you're doing multiple champions with increased attack, of course, like a Durham, for example, you know. So that would actually work pretty good. The increased attack will benefit you a lot, especially that Orestes or any other burner that will detonate burns in this way, they will deal damage based on how much attack they have. 220% of the attack, you know. So that is pretty important. If we are bringing in Bigs, for example, instead of Percival, and one quick thing that I'm going to do is to change this to this. So we have defense down for the team. Let's see how many stacks we can reach like this. I'm very curious. Now, with Biggs, honestly, I do think it's much easier to put the stacks up because he's just generally putting more, you know, and based on his RNG too, of course, that will make a bit of a difference. But I feel like it's easier to reach 9, 10 stacks with these two together instead of Percival. But I feel like the missing 1 or 2 burns and the lack of increased attack, for example, now will kind of like even out, you know. So if you decide to run Percival, I don't think it will be wrong. If you decide to run Biggs, I don't think it will be wrong. I feel like both of them, they will be giving you pretty good value. Now, unfortunately, it's not an easy task right now to kind of like pull you out the raw numbers, the raw data, and be like, okay, Percival does 15% more damage overall because he brings the increased attack to the team, you know, and the team performs better. How you may notice, the stacks are staying up to 10 much easier, much easier, or 9 or 8. This is the average. Before, the average was kind of like 6, 7 of them, you know. So the main question is 3 stacks on average, which should be like 660% of his attack, equal more than the increased 20% of the attack for the entire duration of the fight. So right now, how you may notice, the damage is very similar. Like, it's almost feeling like it's almost no difference at all in between the damage that he dealt with the increased attack and with less stacks, or without the increased attack and with less stacks. The only thing is that having Percival in with the increased attack will increase the damage for your entire team. So that's kind of like how you need to think about it, you know. Basically, that's what I would take in consideration more. Now, the next question will be, Skratch, which one of the other epics would you use as damage dealers and why, you know? Because this is another question that I've seen in the comments pretty often. So the thing with Zrax, guys, let me just start by saying why I don't like his ultimate skill. This ultimate does not land the defense down from Crown of the Unclean or Witch's Remains, at least not from what I've noticed, because he summons a turret, and the turret doesn't seem to count as damage dealt by the champion. So Overall, his turret will have a small chance of putting a burn for 10 seconds and deal a minimal amount of damage. But he will deal damage pretty often, you know. So it's not awful, but it's not impressive either. Overall, I feel like in terms of damage, they're both pretty equalish, in my opinion. The one thing with him is that he's going to activate a lot of burn, okay? A lot of burn whenever he's hitting the enemy, and that will result in less stacks for whatever hero you're using with them, you know? And the battle skill will have a chance to put a burn too, you know, a stack of burn, which is decent. This is the range, and it is not bad, honestly. And then we have, of course, Lyle. Now, he has accuracy aura. This one has nothing. It's Rex, okay? So the accuracy aura is nice because it's for all battles. Then for each enemy inflicted with burn, he will gain attack up. Then you have the battle skill, which bounces around with a chance to put burn. And then you have the ultimate, which will activate a blast on enemies, okay? And this as well is not a bad ultimate skill, and is only triggering every 19-20 seconds. So you're not constantly dropping out stacks. So your Arases will still perform better than the rest. The thing is, it doesn't really matter which one of them drops the stack of burn as long as you drop them, you know, and as long as you're making damage. So in a way, I kind of like prefer Lyle in my opinion, just because he's, I don't know, has the accuracy aura, brings the rest. He does have the chance to land the defense down if I want to, while he doesn't, you know. So Zrex will be on the bench for me. Of course, if you have Durem, guys, is a much better combination. He will give you the bigger version of increased attack, just so you guys are aware as well. And like that, you're gonna be able to kind of like keep the increased attack up for the full 20 seconds. You just gotta start with one now, 10 seconds, use the other ultimate, and you're gonna get it. Plus, of course, you're getting crit damage from this as well. He's putting more burns as well. And you're gonna be loaded with the burns like this. There's no way in hell you won't be having enough burns with him, Percival, and Arases, you know. So this is a pretty viable option. The main thing that you guys need to kind of like keep in mind, in my opinion, is that it will be hard in some cases to use 3 burners, okay? And you will need 3 supports maybe. Like for the world boss, because I know that's the main thing that people wanna have an answer to, is I think 3 burners will be doable, and we need to drop that damage as fast as possible. Isolde will be the tank most probably for the majority of us, and I just feel like if you're counting for the fight to take 5 minutes, Isolde might not make it, considering what boss we have around. Now the problem there is that Arases, he will be getting hammered pretty damn quick, you know, so some range damage next to your other burn enabler would be pretty good. But honestly, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Percival as well, guys, because yeah, he's a pretty awesome rare champion, and in some cases, how I mentioned, better than Biggs, and in some cases not, because he's not landing as many burns. But at the same time, the increased attack feels like he's definitely making up for it, you know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I don't think there's any good or bad to go with any of them. Percival will enable your entire team to deal more damage because of the increased attack though, so keep that in mind. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.